Good morning, my sweet friends. Olive and I are back in the van full time. We've not been in the van for almost 2 months now, and it feels really nice to be back in our own home, back in our own space. I just made a quick trip here to St. Augustine. I thought we would explore St. Augustine today for a couple reasons. One, it is still in Florida. It's not all that far from home. So it gives me an opportunity to just verify that everything is working correctly. Poor Maggie has not been driven in 2 months now, so I want to make sure I ease her back into full-time driving and full-time travel. And I want to make sure that everything is set with the rest of the van, the electrical, the AC. Also, St. Augustine is relatively familiar to me, so this isn't really an overwhelming visit in any sense. Like, I kind of know what's here. I've seen a lot of the stuff already. So I'm going to take you guys to a couple interesting places that I think you would like if you've never been here. There is a street called St. George Street. It's a very old, very famous street here in St. Augustine. It's foot traffic only, and they just have like interesting shops and stuff, so we can check that out first. There's a new coffee shop I actually want to go to today, so if I have time to do that, I'd like to do that. It's called Flamingo Cafe. It looks really, really cute. And then, obviously, we're going to go to the St. Augustine Lighthouse and climb up the lighthouse, see the view of St. Augustine beaches from there, which I think will be really beautiful. I actually have no recollection of ever doing that. I'm sure I have been to the lighthouse before and climbed all the way to the top, but I don't remember it, so it'll be a nice little refresher for me as well. We are supposed to get rain, like a heavy thunderstorm at some point today. I don't know when that's coming. I'm hoping the rain holds off long enough for us to just see the things that we want to see here, and then it can rain as much as it wants. So, wish us luck. It feels a little weird being back here in the van. It always feels like our home, but it feels a little nerve-wracking to be out of practice being in the van, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm a little nervous. It's gonna be a hot day. I need to make sure Olive is good, the AC is working, she's gonna be comfortable, so it'll be an interesting day. And I'm out of practice filming, so I'm hoping that it all goes well. We'll find out.
To sound, the one that's coming from your mouth. Don't mean to turn it upside down. I really wanna hear you out. I can't know how it is to be where you so calmly sit. When I'm further my own, there it is, catching only part of it. To just be, to really see something other than just me, to lean I could give you more than half an ear, if I could give you more than half an ear, I hit the brakes, throw stones into a quiet lake. What is it you're really saying? I turn the thoughts to little waves, space on either side.
Hi, baby. Sense you smell? How you doing?
It is so hot out there, you guys. I'm obviously back in the van. I'm sure you can hear the AC blasting. You could not pay me to turn this off right now. It feels so much better in here than it does out there. It's like mid 90s, I think. Not really enjoyable to just be like walking around in the sun. I did end up stopping by a pizza restaurant and I got a slice of pizza to have for lunch, and I had some caprese salad that I prepped back home. But admittedly, a lot of those stores were a lot more touristy, like souvenir shops. Just not my style of stuff, and I really didn't have any intention of buying any of it. And you guys know how I feel about filming in places that I know I'm not gonna buy stuff. I'm very uncomfortable doing that. So there was one store called the Irish Gift Shop that I thought might have been cool to check out, but they were closed today. And I just checked the coffee shop I was gonna go to this afternoon. It is also closed today. I guess they're only open Fridays through Mondays, and it is not a Friday through Monday. So, change of plans. I think I'm gonna just extend my parking meter here because we're kind of in like a nice shady spot, and I'm gonna try to make myself an iced matcha latte. I didn't think I liked matcha for the longest time, and then recently when I was home, a coffee shop gave me the wrong order. Like they misheard my order and they gave me a matcha drink, and I just didn't have the heart to ask them to remake it. So I drank the matcha drink and it was actually pretty good. So my friend Terry just got me a little matcha making kit and I haven't used it yet. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just kill a little bit of time here with Olive, and then we'll head over to the lighthouse a little bit later, and I'm hoping it will be less hot or more cloudy, or I know I said I didn't want it to rain until we could finish doing everything. I don't care at this point. If it wants to rain, it can rain. That's totally fine with me.
I don't want another lover of a pixelated dream, a barren burning wasteland where nobody can be seen. I only wanna have you as a river does a creek, drinking up the other and finding me. I don't wanna see another through a muddy window pane, hearing only fables and giving people names. I only wanna have you in a common kind of way, benches in the morning in the sun of a night train. Easy come, easy go, make it easy to be known. Easy come, easy go, make it easy to be known.
think I might have jinxed us because there's a storm coming this afternoon and there is lightning in the area. I can actually hear the thunder from it, so I do think it's probably fairly close. The lighthouse is closed right now. You can't walk to the top. You can go to the other things that are on the grounds, but you can't climb to the top. And the admission is $18. I don't really feel like paying that if I can't climb it. So the woman at the checkout desk in the gift shop said, just come by in the morning. Mornings are better. I might come by tomorrow morning and climb the lighthouse. I wish they were open really early because I feel like doing it for sunrise would be sick, but I don't think they open early enough to really get like a beach sunrise. We'll see. So I don't really know what to do with the rest of the day, you guys. I think we might just find somewhere to park for the night and then settle in and enjoy the rain that is probably coming within the hour.
Hi, baby. Hi. Do you want to walk around the park before it rains? Let's go. Good girl.
Time you move like water and taste like wine. You're holier than I am, holier than I am. Gentle hands, gold-lit eyes. I am a man made of borrowed time. You're holier than I am, holier than I am. I am the dust, you are the rain. You pull me close, I push away. I swear I love you, but I am afraid.
Okay, I just got to our spot for the night. I was scoping out spots and I found this Planet Fitness, which was 15 minutes away from the lighthouse, and it's 24 hours, which is great because most Planet Fitnesses are totally fine with you parking overnight if you ask, but especially the ones that are 24 hours, you can pretty much guarantee they don't mind people in the parking lot at any hours of the night. Also, this way we won't have long to drive in the morning when we go back to the lighthouse when that opens at 9 a.m. I did notice though, when I was pulling into this parking lot, there's a Goodwill right across the street and they close in an hour. So because a lot of our plans from today have fallen through and I feel like I honestly haven't done anything very interesting in this video so far, I thought maybe we would have a little rainy afternoon thrifting peruse in Goodwill and see if they have anything exciting in there. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't because again, it's like end of day, so maybe all the good stuff is gone, but we might as well check it out.
There's a new day that will come again tomorrow. There's a new day to wash away the pain. There's a new day to take away your sorrow and the old ways get washed out by the rain. Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this: if you try There's a new day, and it will restore us. There will be new ways. This is not the end.
Morning, you guys. I am talking to you back here because Olive is already sleeping in the driver's seat. Are we surprised? I don't think so. She is settled right back into her old routines, and I'm really glad. It seems like she is pretty comfortable here in the van, even though it's kind of new to us all over again. I woke up early this morning and drove over here to the lighthouse before they even opened, just because I wanted to make sure I could get a good shaded parking space for the van. So I made breakfast, had some iced coffee, and I'm about to head in and do the whole lighthouse. Hopefully that will only take a couple hours. I would like to be done before noon, because again, it's just gonna get really hot midday, and it makes me nervous being away from the van, even though I know Olive is gonna be okay in here. It's just that, you know, my neuroses. I need to have eyes on her sometimes to feel good about it. So I'm gonna come back fairly quickly, and then I think we're actually gonna be driving out of Florida. So I don't know exactly how far we'll get today. I'm headed in the direction of the Panhandle. And when I left for the first time 2 years ago, I stayed at a Cracker Barrel in Pensacola, and I think it would be kind of fun to go back to that first Cracker Barrel in Pensacola that was the first place I ever stayed, my first night on the road. So we'll see how far we get. But I think this afternoon is just going to be a bunch of driving, and it's probably going to be fairly boring for you guys. Sorry. Oh, also, if you happen to be watching this video because you are planning a trip to St. Augustine and you want to come and see the lighthouse, I found out this morning it is cheaper to buy your tickets online because there's like a coupon code that they have. It's not coupon. This is not sponsored in any way. It's not my coupon code. I just found it, and it saved me like 15% off my general admission ticket. I'll just put that in the description in case any of you would find it useful. I get absolutely nothing from it. So this is just me trying to be helpful for anyone who's coming here. But yeah, let's go climb. I think it's like 200 something stairs to the top of the lighthouse, and I'll show you guys what it looks like up there.
Take me on your treasure dive. I've got nothing to lose. After years with the blues. Oh, you know about them ice and low. An angel is what I need to bring me up to full speed.
Sorry, I am sweating profusely. I just found a little bench to sit on and chat with you guys real quick. The lighthouse climb was really great, and I kind of wish I were still up there because it had such a nice breeze once you got to the top. I feel like you could see everything. Like, I don't even think my footage is gonna do it justice. But there's also a little restaurant here on site called the Tin Pickle. Well, I shouldn't say, it's not really like a restaurant, it's just kind of like a little food store. And they sell like hot dogs and chips. There's an ant crawling on the lens. Give me a second. They just sell like very basic drinks and snacks and stuff. And the guy who works in there, his name is Austin. Hi, Austin, if you're watching this. He was so nice. He does like wedding videography, and so he noticed my camera and was asking me all about my setup and stuff. But I ended up getting a lemonade, a dill pickle, because it's called the Tin Pickle. I feel like that must be their specialty. And some chocolate fudge for later tonight, but I'm going to do a little taste test of the lemonade and the pickle sat here with you guys. Very solid. Kind of going with like a sweet and sour vibe, you know? Oh yeah. Oh, that's so good. Wait, sorry. This isn't a dill pickle. I got their cilantro lime pickle. That is what I got. I feel like this is a perfect snack to have here because you're just sweating. You're like sweating so much that replenishes your sodium, you know? I think that's pretty much all I'm gonna see. I'm gonna go through the gift shop and then I'll just go back to the van, hang out with Olive a little bit, and then we're gonna hit the road to the Panhandle. Stamps for the lighthouse passport?
Yes.
Okay, if I gave you a piece of paper, or if there was a piece of paper here, could I just, because I don't have one of the passport books, but.
Understood.
Thank you. Has a lot of like interesting shops and stuff, so I thought we would. Sorry, there's a big truck going by. Not bad. Forgive. Oh my, hold on. Excuse me.